Signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Back on Stellarium, hunting the signs. Let's dig deeper. Here we are. 12/14/2020. What we're looking at in the heavens on the same day as the total solar eclipse is comet C 2020 X3 Soho, lining up directly with the moon on the day that the sun and the moon come out of the hoopah. Look at the signs, family. We have the sun and the moon, the bride and the bridegroom coming out of the chamber on the 14th. And so I had to go digging deeper for what this meant. And I believe I have found a great and wondrous sign. And it took me some time to grasp what I was seeing. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you this sign, give you my perspective, and I'm hoping for the entire family to weigh in, and let's see what the Spirit delivers in our understanding of this sign. For this is a great and wondrous sign. Let's explore. Okay, we have the alignment of Comet Soho and the moon. As the sun and the moon are coming out of the hoopah. So, where does Comet Soho go from here? Let's check it out. Keep your eye on Comet Soho. Okay, now what we're going to do on the 22nd at the midnight hour, Comet Soho entered into Trumpler 24. This is a star cluster in the constellation of Scorpio called Trumpler 24. And when I found this, I had to go digging for the code. So what does this Comet Soho and this Trumpler mean to us? What is it showing us? Well, Trumpler is code for trumpet. It's also code for I am the beginning and the ending. It's also code for Mary Magdala and Mary Magdalene. It's also code for the bride and the bridegroom. It's also code for Psalms 119. It's also code for dark winter and Biden end times and corona vaccine. So, family, on the 22nd, we saw the alignment of Comet Soho and the Trumpler star cluster. Now, let's continue on our journey and see where this comet is going. Okay. Now we are in the Deacon Aura, the fire. And this was a great sign to me, because a comet can be seen as a rock or a stone. And when I saw this comet leave the moon, headed in this direction towards Aura and Triangulum, something started to bubble up inside, as if I was witnessing something very grand. And so I went back and played it over and over and over again. And as we continue on, we see something very, very interesting. Actually, I think it's past here, yes. It's past meridian. It's essentially right there. We're going to call it 1500. On January 1st, 2021, January 21, we are talking about the 1500 hour. Comet Soho just happens to be in the capstone position. Family, this is a great and wondrous sign. Comet Soho, coming from the moon, passing Aura, the fire, and ending up on January 1st as the capstone in Triangulum. This is a great sign, for it seems as if the sun handed the moon the capstone. And as they came out of the hoopah, the moon sent the capstone on its way, showing us the signs. So let's dig deeper into the constellation or deacon of Ara. Okay, here we are. Heavenspeak, blogspot.com. Let's dig some deeper. Here we have an altar of burning pyre, placed significantly and ominously upside down, with its fire burning and pointing downwards. It is south of the scorpion's tail, and when these constellations were first formed, it was visible only on the very lowest horizon of the south, pointing to completion of all judgment or condemnation in the lake of fire. Isaiah 63, 4-5. For the time has come for me to avenge my people, to ransom them from their oppressors. I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed, so I myself stepped in to save them with a strong arm, and my wrath sustained me. Psalms 21:9. You will throw them in a flaming furnace when you appear. The Lord will consume them in his anger. Fire will devour them. In Arabic, it's called al-Mungara, which means the completing or finishing. The Greeks use the word ara sometimes in the sense of praying, but more frequently in the sense of cursing. This is the curse pronounced against the great enemy. This is the burning fire, pointing to the completion of that curse, when he shall be cast into the everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. This is the allusion to it written in the midst of the very scripture from which we have quoted Psalms 21. This brings us to the final scene, closing up the book of the heavens, Draco the dragon. Okay, now let's go back and let's dig a little deeper into the MAZZAROTH and see what another site says about Ara. Here we are in Amos37.com, another MAZZAROTH site that I have spent many, many years studying. This is a great one, family. So we're going to have to scroll down. This one goes into great depth into many of the different constellation and understandings. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to look into the Sagittarius constellation, because Sagittarius is the constellation that holds Ara as a deacon. So here we are, and let's see if we can blow this up. I learned how to do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we are. The meaning of Ara. Further to the south from Sagittarius is its second sidereal piece, an altar called Ara. The altar is seen upside down, with its poured out over the South Pole, called the regions of outer darkness. Here begins a cloud of stars which runs throughout the heavens. Today it is called the Milky Way, but in some ancient star charts it is referred to as the Lake of Fire. The word Ara, named of the upturned altar, means it is finished. There is no more sacrifice for sin. Okay. A little bit more perspective. And I believe I had one more. That I wanted to look into. Oh, no, that was it. I believe. Yeah, those are the only two. Well, let's see what I've got here. Forgive me, family, if this doesn't go into anything. It looks like I clicked into it. No. Okay. So, what we have with the sign of Ara and the comet Soho traveling through the constellation of Ara, we see the sign of the fire and the altar, and how the Milky Way literally comes out of this fiery altar. And when I saw this alignment with Soho, I had to go dig deeper into what Soho meant. So what I found with Soho solidified all of this. Soho means beast, or big pharma, or vaccine, or SARS. And what this stood out to me as is showing the bride that this corruption will not stand, that it will be burnt up in the altar of fire, that this condemnation of the enemy being sent out around the globe is not going to stand. The corruption will be burnt up. And we are not to stand for it whatsoever. We are not to have any part in the corruption of our temple. And this rock shows up on January 1st as the capstone of Triangulum. And so I believe this is showing that we are to hold on to our rock, our foundation, our capstone. And it is put through the fire and refined, and it comes out as pure gold for those who know where the capstone belongs. In our next video, we're going to come back and we're going to dig deeper into Triangulum.